All right, we're coming back to do the checkpoint 17 through 20. Um, and so let's get to it. At this point, I'm assuming you have done 17 through 20. Just here to check your solutions. Okay, 17. 0 equals x squared plus 4x plus 3. So we're solving this by factoring. All right, and so this is like really the third tool in your toolbox because you could solve a quadratic by graphing and looking where you cross the x-axis. You can solve it by using the quadratic formula. And if it's factorable, not everything's factorable, but if it's factorable, you can solve it by factoring. If it's not factorable, you can solve anything by the quadratic formula. All right, so here I'm looking for factors of 3 that combine into positive 4. Okay, oh gee, I wonder what that is. Okay, yep, it's 1 and 3. So 0 equals x plus 1 times x plus 3. So I'm going to set each of these factors to 0 and solve. And that means x is going to equal -1 and x is going to equal -3. Okay. Number 18, 0 equals x squared minus 5x plus 4. All right, so I'm looking for factors of positive 4 that combine into -5. So that's telling me that since my middle term's negative and my last term's positive, instead of 2 positive factors, I'm going to have 2 negative factors. And so my combination is going to be 1 and 4, or it could be -2 and -2. But the -1 and the -4, that is my combination that will get me to -5. So this factors into x minus 1 times x minus 4. So that means I set this equal to 0. I set this equal to 0. And so therefore x is going to equal +1 and x is going to equal +4. That's where we're going to be crossing the x-axis here. Okay, 19. All right, 0 equals x squared minus 5x minus 6. Okay, so I'm looking for factors of -6. That means I got a positive and a negative factor, and they have to combine into -5. That's telling me that the absolute value of my larger factor is going to be negative. So I'll put the larger factors on the right. All right, so I'm going to start off with 1 and 6. All right, ding, 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 there it is. That combines into -5. So that means that my quadratic will factor into x plus 1, x minus 6. Okay, so that means x equals -1, and x is going to equal +6. Okay, and then in number 20, here it says, suppose the garden in example 7 measured by 7 yards and 12 yards. Okay, so we're saying 12, we're saying 7, and the budget was to cover 66 square yards, okay, and we got x going this way and x going that way, right? So this is an x here and an x here. Then that means I want my border is going to be 66 yards. It's got to equal the area of the whole garden. So that's going to be x plus 12 times x plus 7 minus the area of the garden, right? Which is going to be -12 times 7. Okay. All right, so let's do a little number crunching. 66 has got to equal x squared plus 7x plus 12x plus, I believe that's 9, no, maybe it's 84. 12 times 7, let me double. All right, 84, that's plus 84, minus 84. All right, so this cancels out, that cancels out. I get x squared, and I'm going to subtract 66 too, so that's going to be 0 plus 19x minus 66, okay, is what I'm solving for. I'm going to solve for x by factoring. So I'm looking for factors of -66. So I'm going to have a positive and a negative that combine into +19. So I'm going to have my larger absolute values be on the right. So 1 and 66, right? That's not going to do it. That it combines into 65. Okay, how about negative 2 and 33? Getting closer. Let me see, 66 divided by, what else is in there? Um, okay, yeah, 3. I didn't think about that. Yeah, 66 divided by 3. Okay, so I could do negative 3, right? And 22. Okay, here it is. That's my combination right here. All right, so I'm going to factor this. This becomes x minus 3 times x plus 22. All right, I set each of these to 0 and solve each of these factors. And I'm going to get x equals 3. I'm going to get x equals negative 22 here. That's extraneous. Even though it's correct, it's not going to work because I'm not going to have a path that's negative 22. So it looks like this is my solution to this, x equals 3. Okay, that is it for section 10.5. And join me in the next section, 10.6, to do the next type of factoring, which is even a little bit more complicated, but I've got a pretty good method for you to use to overcome that.